Vandy and Let's Cigar Mathematics, and you now listening to the Vandal Hour live on S.STREET Media. Peace, Vandals and Vandalettes. It's the God Mathematics, and you now watching and listening to the Vandal Hour, Season 9, Episode 4, live on S.STREET Media, man. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram at the Vandal Hour. You can check out old episodes on our S.STREET Media YouTube channel or on DTF's YouTube channel. Just put the Vandal Hour in. It's guaranteed to come up, or you could Google it. But before we get into anything, man, let me give a shout out to all of my Vandal Hour family. Facts on Wax, June 457, Sosa, DJ Swift, Giggles, Brat, J-Lo, Mr. 13, E. Sinatra, Dre Kill Films, and all of the other people that help make this a successful show. We also want to give a shout out to all of our audience, man. Everyone who supports the Vandal Hour. Without y'all, there will be no Vandal Hour. So we want to give a shout out to y'all, man. If y'all didn't catch last week's episode, we had a dope episode. We had Echo and Gold in the building. We also had Clipchamp the week prior, and we had /FTR to open up season 9. Make sure you run those numbers up. They're on YouTube right now. Just go to S.STREET Media on YouTube. Now, you know we have a heavy hitter in the building. We have my brother, my homie. We got Bars TBR in the building.
What's going on, man?
Yo, for the people who may not know, but I did this intro about 4 or 5 times. I'm exhausted even saying it, but we got this down packed. I got the guard in the building. How you feeling, man? You feeling good?
Chilling, man, chilling. You know what I mean? Glad to be here, you know.
Yo, you got so much history that I want the people to know. You definitely have an insight, especially about Brooklyn, that the average writer do not know, especially these writers that's from these days. Your history is extensive. You done wrote with a lot of powerful people. So I want to get into all of that history. But before we get into any of that history, I got to tell you some things. You know, on the Vandal Hour, this week in Vandals Flexing, which means some of the people that I've seen or some of the people that my people have seen getting up, doing what they do right now outside, killing shit. You got Modus, you got AIDS, you got Dace 429, you got Order. This dude is killing shit. MTNW is killing shit. Tony, killing shit. Shout out to those writers that keep the culture alive. They are the front line of the culture. We need the illegal activity to still go on to keep pushing this culture forward. So shout out to all of those writers. This is the part of the show when we get into the Vandal Hour news. And understand, people, I am not using a script today. And last week I didn't do this. I didn't do it either. So I'm doing this off the top of my head. But this is the part of the show when we get into the Vandal Hour news. What is the Vandal Hour news? The Vandal Hour news is we focus on news that's happening in our culture. That's what we focus on. People that are doing things within the culture of Graph. So this week, y'all need to check out Spray Daily Instagram page. We follow them on the Vandal Hour. They're tapped into the culture. They got live action bombing shit going on. They promote the zines on there, which is like intricate part of our culture, the magazine. And they're definitely documenting what's happening in the culture extensively. Check them out. Spray Daily. Also, today, my man, my comrade, STEM YNN and Fetus 88 had a show at Scrapyard. They was doing live canvas work there. It was from 12 to 9. I missed it, but if you did go, send us some pictures if you got any pictures or whatever, because we definitely will post them on our page, on the Vandal Hour page. Also, happy birthday to Brat PTP, one of our Vandal Hour goddesses. She supports the show. She is a Vandal who does her thing. Also, shout out to her. Without her, you know, a lot of guests that we had on the show would not have been on the show, especially some of our female ones, all came through Brat. So, with that out the way, let's get into this interview, bars, man. Let's get into this interview, man. You know, your history in Brooklyn is deep, and I don't like to start my interviews like I used to in the past. How you got your name, all that stuff. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna say this: I've been calling you Bears for years, and people checked me many times about calling you Bears. They're like, "That's bars." I'm like, "Oh yeah." I always fuck up. Do people actually mess that up when they're pronouncing your name?
Nah, it's just straight bars, straight up. Nah.
Yeah, so I must be the illiterate one. You know, somebody got to be the one that fuck up the attribute. You know what I mean? But so yeah, you've been doing your thing since the '80s, man. When did you officially start writing? Like what year?
I came out. I started bombing with Pilots like in '84.
84.
With the Pilots.
84.
Yeah.
But that was the seriousness, or that was just?
Yeah, that was the seriousness. Yeah.
Oh shit, 84.
Yeah.
So I already know you got some history. Describe to me the world at that time, 1984. Describe to me that time, and what was the catalyst that caused you to start writing?
Back then, you know, New York was wide open. I'll put it to you like that. The crack had just came on the scene, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we was kids having fun, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, everybody seen Star Wars and Wild Style. You know, I watched them on the PBS channel, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it gave me, you know, it just pretty much enlightened me on the culture. You know what I'm saying? And what I was seeing in Brooklyn around my way, I'm from Crown Heights. You know what I'm saying? It was you know, it was a lot of heavy hitters around there. You know what I'm saying? You had the Kingston layup, Utica Avenue. You know what I'm saying? I lived on Empire between Troy and Schenectady. You know what I'm saying? So I was, you know, right there, a few blocks. I'm in Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? You know, another 5 or 6 blocks, I'm in Flatbush. You know what I'm saying? So I was, you know, right there, you know what I'm saying? Bed-Stuy, you know what I mean? I was right in the loop of everything, so I seen it all. I seen, you know, a lot of stuff when I was coming up. And mainly what I seen, what gravitated to me was the burners.
That's what actually made you pick up, that's what actually made you pick up the can.
That was it. That was it. I ain't give a fuck about too much of bombing, you know, no disrespect to the bombers or you know, but my thing, I gravitated to that motherfucking burner, dog. That was my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, them shits was everywhere in Brooklyn. Every handball court. You know what I mean? When you get on the train, it was, you know what I'm saying?
Who was some of the local kings of your neighborhood when it came to doing graph?
Okay, you have, of course, you had CWK, Gnome, Gem 7, and all them cats. You had Webb, you know what I'm saying? You had Kilo, was a local writer from around my way, TVS Kilo, Ezo, you know what I'm saying? Then also, not too far from where I was at, you had, you know, them Flatbush cats, TK, you know, Kice and all them cats over on that side, Spider, Zeus, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then, you know, a couple of blocks, you know, it was, you know, and like I said, and then you had the plaza, you know what I'm saying, Rutland Plaza. I used to go down that way to get my shoes and shit from a store called Cats on Rutland Plaza. So I used to always cut through the plaza, but on the way out that motherfucker, I'm in the cab.
Yo, for the person that may not be familiar with the history of Rutland Plaza, because that was kind of like a mainstay for Graph. Give me a little bit about the history that you know about Rutland Plaza.
I started cutting through there, I say around like 85, 86. I used to go over there to get my shoes and shit, because there was a store called Cats on, I believe it was on 95th Street. You know what I'm saying? They had all the, you know, the fly shoes in there, the Clarks, the Bally's, the British Walkers, you know what I'm saying? So I was, you know, my whole style was based on the 5% as far as dressing. I'll put it to you like that. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, what I was surrounded by in Brooklyn at that time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the 5% of brothers, they were older than me, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them, you know, I looked up to them at, you know, as far as style, out of, you know, dressing and the DVDs, you know, the tank tops, and you know what I'm saying? You know how it was in the hood, you know what I mean? Fashion was a big thing in the hood, real big thing, you know what I mean? And, you know, I took, took that on, you know what I'm saying? Looking fly, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's what it was about, you know, around my neighborhood.
No, so in Rutland, so talk to me about Rutland Plaza specifically.
Okay, so Rutland, like I said, I used to go cut through there to get my shoes and shit, right? So I seen the wall, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? At the time, you know, you had another OG from Brooklyn, Dean too, you know what I'm saying? Bimmer, and I believe it was a Rudy piece in there. They had shit in there. So I'm like, oh shit. So I knew cats that, you know, used to live in the building. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna come through this motherfucker, and you know what I'm saying? But I put it on the back burner at that time, you know what I'm saying? Because I was still developing my style and shit like that. And, you know, I was doing mainly straight letters. See, a lot of people don't understand the key to style is them straight letters, though. That's the key, that's the foundation, is the straight letter. If you can get them straight letters on point, everything else is nothing but cutting it up. Create, like, you could take start chiseling it, playing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make it sharp. You know what I'm saying? You can combine it sharp and round. You know what I'm saying? Or all round, or all. You know, that's how you know. And there was a lot of that stuff going on in Brooklyn at that time. You know what I'm saying? Every handball court that you've seen, especially from Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, they was burnt down. I'm talking about burners, man. I ain't talking about the Thowies. The Thowies, motherfuckers was doing Thowies, but them handball courts, they was nothing but burners on them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I gravitated to.
But where Rutland, was that an illegal spot? Was that a legal spot?
Rutland was a legal spot, yeah.
It was a legal spot.
Yeah, it was an illegal spot.
Oh, illegal spot.
Yeah,
so when people was doing pieces there, you had to watch out for the police.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I started going in there, hitting shit. Me and Kites went around there in 88, and me and him planned on hitting it. But Kites at the time moved to Florida. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in that motherfucker and kill it. So at the time, my homeboy Baz lived in the building. And he knew I write. They all knew I write. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I didn't really press up and go on in there, because I was going other places doing shit. You know how when you're trying to get your name out, the shit around your way, you can hold off on it and hit other spots because you want other people from other, you know what I'm saying? Sure. So that's mainly what I was doing. So when I had, I had a big wall beside my building, a school, PS221. You know what I'm saying? So I lived at like literally 3 blocks from Rutland Plaza. And all the cats in there, we went to school together. So like I said, around 89, 90, I started going up in there. You know what I'm saying? At the time, Baz, he wasn't really doing no burn. He wasn't, he was writing, tagging. And, I started giving them little outlines and shit like that. And, you know what I'm saying? And of course, Coma, you know what I'm saying? His aunt lived in the building or whatever. So one day, I come back, right? So I goes in the yard and they house painted, Coma threw a big ass rolled up house paint over all them OGs in there. So I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? What about the rest of the wall? You understand what I'm saying? And, I was like, well, I see that I'm going to have to show them a little something. Because that house paint is some straight up toy shit. You know what I'm saying? Rolling in, but you got to, I came from it where you do your outline. However you do your outline, you put that motherfucker on the wall. You don't, it was like with the house paint, you get them rollers and you roll it up. You know what I'm saying? Them thick lines. And then you get, nah.
Which is very popular these days, which is crazy.
Yeah, but
which is very popular these days.
Yeah, I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like it's like it's about that your creativity, what flows out of them 5 fingers. You know what I'm saying? Not that the house. Like I said, you can roll. Anybody can take a damn bucket of house paint and roll their name on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can do that shit, but can't anybody do a motherfucking burning? See, that's the difference.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying?
Not to cut your wisdom, but was there other places like Rutland Plaza where people was doing burners or just doing graph shit at, like spots like that?
Okay, on my block, the schoolyard Kilo and Ezo was killing it. All right, burners. Let me see, when you go like towards Bed-Stuy, up Kingston Avenue around there, Nome and them cats had Atlantic Avenue burnt down. I mean, they had burners, that's the infamous court down there on the Kingston Park. On Brooklyn Avenue, they had shit burnt down over there. Then if you go up Franklin Avenue, Shazza, Take 5, Webb, they was killing shit on the avenue up that way. You know what I'm saying? Then of course you go to Flatbush, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see it fucking TK Magoo shit. You know what I'm saying? So, everywhere you went in Brooklyn at the time, it was nothing but style, man. It was nothing but style. You know what I'm saying? So, coming up in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? At that time, see, I came up in the perfect time, in the perfect storm, because I was able to visualize and catch all of it, even with the trains. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I lived a few blocks away from Kingston Avenue, you know what I'm saying? I was right there, you know what I'm saying? And, like I said, every handball court, what was it? You go up Schenectady Avenue.
Like Brooklyn and all that, New York.
St. John's Park. That shit was burnt. Every pieces everywhere. Then you go, you get on Atlantic Avenue, you got Boys and Girls High School. There was pieces in there. You know what I'm saying? It was everywhere. And then of course you get on the goddamn train, that's all you seen. You know what I'm saying? So it was all love back then.
A lot of writers are ushered into the game by like older writers. Did you ever have any like mentor or someone who schooled you to the culture?
After I started writing, after I started, you know what I'm saying? Because I had started, and then when I started, I started meeting other writers. You know what I'm saying? I started meeting writers, like I said, I met Doom in high school in automotive. You know what I'm saying? Around my way, me and Zeus clicked up. You know what I'm saying? Zeus was nice. You know what I'm saying? He the one who pretty much showed me 3D. You know what I'm saying? How to do 3D off your letters. And at the time, Spider was his partner. You know what I'm saying? And I met Spider and them, and from that, I started meeting other writers around the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And as the more I met, the nicer I was getting. You know what I'm saying? But
was they dropping any jewels on you at that time?
I mean, only jewels they was dropping was style. That was the only jewel that was being dropped back then was style. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers back then didn't play, man. The style back then in Brooklyn that shit was about pride, man. It was about pride. And motherfuckers will pull a black book out on your ass in a minute, nothing but motherfucking burners in it. You know what I'm saying? And I started, catching on, listening to the OGs, the ones that was older than me that been there. So I started listening to what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? And I started getting nice. I got nice real quick. Real quick.
Yo, it's crazy because you said you went to automotive. And I'm from Williamsburg, and automotive is Greenpoint, Williamsburg. Some say very violent school. Back in the days, it was known to be like a lot of Decepticons, shit like that.
I was in there at that time. But I was in there at that time when the Decepticons, you know what I'm saying? I remember that vividly.
So being a graph writer at that time, going to automotive, was being a graph writer cool back then? Did people accept it like, he ain't no square or nothing? Because, in my time, a lot of people didn't say they write. A lot of people that was involved in the streets and shit like that, a lot of people didn't even know that these people are graffiti writers. Was that like that in automotive?
It was like, you would have to bump into the cat. Now, I'm going to tell you who I seen up in the school. When I was in there, I'm going to tell you who was up in the school. Pito, Cano, PC, you know what I'm saying? These cats was up bombing inside the school.
Yo, shout out to Kano, one of the dopest hand styles ever to come out of Brooklyn.
Hell yeah. So, I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? When you go up on Broadway, that's all you seen back then. You know what I'm saying? They let it be known that they was from that area. So I was like, oh shit. But I never met them. You know what I'm saying? Back then, everybody, didn't, really advertise themselves like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I was in the school, when I seen that shit, I was like, oh, okay. And there was I'm on one time, me and another homeboy, he didn't write though, but I did. So I had brought a can of spray paint to school with me, try to catch some ups around there, right? It was this place on Nassau that we used to go to, right? So I was like, fuck it, yo, we're going to walk through the, them little side blocks and see what's up. So he was like all nervous and shit. I was like, nah, nigga, we be all right. You know what I'm saying? And we started cutting through the side blocks, right? And it was like a abandoned factory or something.
Oh, you talking about the Peace Factories more likely than not?
Yeah, it was like an abandoned one. You know what I'm saying?
Graph was in it?
It was graph. A lot of throwies on the motherfucker. So I was like, we walked on the other side of it, and goddamn it, there was a domain piece of silver burner. Dope ass motherfucking silver burner, burgundy outline. He had a mugshot at the beginning of the D. So I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? So, this shit, I get excited when I'm talking about this shit, man, because
when we, not to cut your wisdom, but when we was doing our pre-interview, you mentioned the name D-Main. Shout out to my OG D-Main, NOK, Nation of Kings. He was, to me, a very powerful writer. I'm from Williamsburg. He's from Cooper Projects. I'm from Williamsburg Projects. Very influential on the graph scene around my way. A lot of people.
He's a style master. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny him. You know what I'm saying?
And he was rocking. I seen like a lot of pictures of his plain letters on trains. He was really doing a lot of them black and silvers type things on the trains.
Different color patterns, different, silver outlines. Yeah. I see him up on a J line and the M's and shit. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yo, shout out to my man D-Main, man, Ajax, man. What you gonna say, girl? I don't want to cut your wisdom.
Nah, I was just gonna say, and also he did his wall around my a couple of blocks away from this it's like a stationery store where they sell lotto tickets and all that, and he did the logo on the side of on the store for him, and that shit was dope, man. That shit, I was like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? And he used to catch tags. I think he was familiar. I don't. Like Bones KOS used to live a few blocks away from me. So Bones had a lot of cats coming through. MPS, you know, on them cats, those were cats that was from around the way. And a lot of cats used to come through there to see them, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And, you know, he bombed up Troy Avenue, you know what I'm saying? And Schenectady, you know what I'm saying? He caught a little bit of St. John's and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know what I mean? That name always stuck out to me because of them E's.
Yeah.
Them dope-ass E's, yeah, it stuck out, you know what I mean? He had a nice hand style, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
For the people that may not know this, but the guard is really heavy into the burner aspect of graph.
Yeah.
I know this is his conversation, but you know I had to bring him into a couple of other places. But let's talk about burners. And you know, I'm going to say this: the first time I met you, I met you at FB House. My cousin Hobbs brought me over there. Shout out to my TNS brothers, my DKS brothers. They brought me over there, and I met you and Deck around the same time.
Okay.
And I was just speaking to a person who we're going to have on the show in January. He's actually going to be the person that we setting off January, the new year with. But I was speaking to this person, and we were speaking about my introduction to y'all. And I met Deck. And if you don't know who Deck is, Deck F.U.A., he was just on Clipchamp recently. But I met him and you around the same time. And I gravitated more towards you. And I'm going to say why. And to me, it's imperative to this conversation, part of my history, but just to what we're talking about. But when I met you, my vision of what a writer from the hood should look like was you.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in a place where graph was heavy, but it was like, it was a look to it. It was like certain people that was doing it. I didn't really see people, and I don't want to make this a race thing because graph, you know, the Vandal, I would deal with all races, all creeds, and everything. But when I was young, I kind of didn't see a lot of myself early. So when I saw you and you had this demeanor, like I could tell you was like in your zone at the time, hat back, jean jacket, the Timbs on, and I was just like, and your demeanor, like how you carried yourself, and I was like, that's what I admired at that time. And I kind of, and D-Main is another person, same type of demeanor. And so these are some of the people who influenced me. You definitely was a person that when I met you, you was in your zone. But the first thing that I did notice when I met all of y'all is that yo is heavy into these pieces, into these burners. Every Saturday, we meet up at F Boom House backyard. He got the piece of wood, pause, the school next to his crib. You're doing shit. You're doing joints. Your style stood out. Your style was very intricate, full of color, definitely style to it. You know, what makes a Bears piece a Bears piece? I mean, pardon self. What makes a bars piece a bars piece?
Style. You know what I mean?
Give me more. Pause. Style. What about coloring?
Pastel colors. You know what I'm saying? Them baby blues, the hot pinks, the rose. You know what I'm saying? The plums, the jade green. You know what I'm saying? Them colors, like back then, the colors was limited back then. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a lot of colors. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I gravitated to them pinks for some reasons. For some reason, the pinks. You know what I'm saying? You know, and honestly, I got that shit from Kais. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be straight up on that. I got them pastel because he the one who actually put me onto those pastel colors.
Which
you know what I'm saying?
which becomes your signature, which was like one of your as we spoke off camera. To me, your signature was these pastel colors.
Oh yeah.
It seems like a pink always snuck into your shit.
Hell yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You always had this. It was vibrant. It was vibrant. Your colors was vibrant.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole essence of the burner. See, back then, the burners was just pastel colors. They were all I ain't never seen nobody do no dark burner. It was all light colors. You know what I'm saying? All of it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I gravitated to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man. You know, in the 80s, it was style everywhere, man, for real. You know, just like the Bronx, they had 149th Street was their writers' bench. We used to bench at Atlantic Avenue.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Atlantic Avenue, we used to bench Atlantic. Let me tell you something about Atlantic Avenue. Atlantic Avenue, you had the RRTs, the BMTs, and the INDs at Atlantic Avenue. You know what I'm saying? So we
not to cut your wisdom, for the people who don't know what he just named, he named the different train lines.
Yeah, all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? All of them. The only thing that didn't come to Brooklyn was the 6, the 1, and the 7. If I'm not mistaken, them the only trains didn't come to Brooklyn. The 1 train, the 6, and the 7, everything else was in that motherfucker. Atlantic Avenue.
Atlantic Avenue.
That was like a hall.
So was it happening like what, after school, weekends?
Man,
when was the bench popping?
This is no bullshit. I went to automotive, right? For shop. And every now and then I would get them cheeseburgers.
The murder burgers?
The murder burgers. My whole thing, that's all I went for the shop classes, lunch, and fuck gym. I ain't even like gym too much because we would cut out. You know what I'm saying? We go benching, you know what I'm saying? A bomb a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And man, that's what it was, man. I dropped out of automotive in '87.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
Let's get back to these pieces, these burners, man. When you doing your joints and you know, me analyzing your work,
okay.
I noticed that you do 90% of your burners is dead center wall, like dead center. And what I mean by that is some people do it from center down, some people do top to bottom, but a lot of your pieces are censored. And Stem does a lot of his pieces like that. Hops do a lot of his pieces like that. F Boom do a lot of his pieces like that. Even a person like Uptown, we just said Dero, a centerpiece person. Why do you choose to do most of your burners that way?
If you look at my style, I was taught pretty much train styles. So, you know, the centerpiece, when you get on the train, you want to catch that panel between the doors because that's where all the space is at. You don't want the ends, you want them panels in between the doors. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at the wall the same way as a panel. That's why if you notice all my pieces, they real straight at the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
So basically windows down. Windows down.
Window down, yeah. 2 to 3 feet. You know what I'm saying? And everything is well proportioned. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is, you know? That's all that is.
When you're doing your when you're painting, I notice a lot that you're not a character person either. Your main focus be lettering. Why do you kind of stray away from the character thing?
I have, you know, I do them, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I wasn't like Hops or Stem, you know what I'm saying? My strong points was my lettering. You know what I'm saying? That was my strong point. So I kind of, you know, stuck with that. But, you know, I used to, you know, watch other, you know, see other b-boy characters on the wall. Like one of my favorite b-boy characters in Brooklyn was Known from CWK.
The ill joints. If anybody knows a known piece, one of the famous ones, you got the army character pointing with the army lettering.
Mm-hmm. So you know, I can do them now. I'm starting to do them. You know, I got a piece that me and Kais did. I didn't post it yet, and I did the character, you know, holding a spray can. You know what I'm saying? So you know, then I had Stem. You know, he used to send me a lot. You know, he would text me a lot of them because I say, yo, Stem, man, I need to get my fingers intact, my hands. I had the face, and you know, but you know, he was send me, you know, little characters of mug shots with fingers. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. And Hops, I'm on one time, me and Hops and F Boom was in Queens. I think we was in Hillcrest. Or was it Franklin? No, I think it was Hillcrest. And Hops did a mugshot for me. At the beginning, I still got the flip. I'ma post it. I got it in storage, but I'm gonna post it. And I can do the characters now. Now I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm starting to get more into them. You know what I'm saying? But my thing was always the lettering, man. I was always fascinated by the style, the pipes, the arrows, you know what I'm saying? That was my thing, the highlights, you know what I'm saying? That was my strong point.
Not to cut your wisdom, but you said that you're anti-Cheech characters. Can you go into that for my audience?
I never cared too much for them.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you got people like, okay, Ado's TC5 was, you know, he had some dope characters. You know what I'm saying? Then you had Shane 125, dope characters.
Sure indeed.
You know, they wasn't doing, you know, well, Shane, I don't know Shane 125 to do those Chief Wizard characters, but those I think was doing them. But it was something about the B-boy character, man. It's a signature. That's us. The B-boy, that's us. That's us. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, fuck all. You can keep them motherfuckers. No disrespect to people that do them, but my main thing was the B-boy character. When I first seen them shits, that's all I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I was focusing more on the lettering. You know what I'm saying? When I felt as though that I mastered my letters, then I started gravitating. That's when me and Stem started hooking up, and you know what I'm saying? Stem was wild because Stem used to draw them. And I would ask Stem, because Stem knew how to do the B-boys. And he broke it down to me for his portfolio, he said. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to draw everything. He was drawing motherfucking with them robots and shit, and you know what I'm saying? And with the Decepticons, and you know, with the G.I. Joe, you know what I'm saying?
He's a character-based artist. Like you gonna see his burner, but you're gonna see a character with it.
You're gonna see a character with it. So you know what I'm saying? So, you know, okay, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and I started practicing them, and I practiced them on paper a lot. And when I felt as though, you know, I'm gonna start bringing them out now, though. I'm gonna bring them out damn near 40 years later. I'm gonna bring them out, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring them out because, you know, to me, man, you know, I like the shit that they do, you know what I'm saying? But when you do those, I don't know how to call them, portraits that they be doing with the burners, it takes away from the burner. You don't concentrate on the burner. You so fascinated by these motherfuckers is damn near drawing pictures on the wall, so the burner don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Then a lot of cats today, they don't really have no letter styles. They hide behind colors.
So let me ask you, who do you feel have great lettering, past or present?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Man. I'm stuck in 1985 like a motherfucker. I'm stuck. I know we in 2000 going on 2024, but I'm still in motherfucking 1985. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality that I have about graph, about style writing. I put it to you like that, style right. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect the big homie Riff 170 and Phase 2. Style right. You know
we
what I'm
gotta
saying?
we gotta get Riff 170 on here. I spoke to him.
Got to get him there.
I spoke to him. I'm working very hard to get that interview locked in. But I spoke to him at the Booney Walls. A cool dude, and it seems like he's with it. So it's not like it's that he don't want to do it, but he just want to set up the parameters to do it. You spoke about STEM a few times. You know, for the people who may not know, how did you and STEM actually connect?
Me and STEM connected through the Low Lives. That's how me and STEM connected. Damn, it's fucked up. I forgot old boy name, but I went to school with him in junior high school. And he knew they knew I right, because I was bombing the school in junior high, tearing this shit up. And he, one day, I was coming from the St. John's from VIMs. They had a store over there. I went and got me a champion hoodie, the old school champion hoodies. So they had all flavors in there. Every other day I was going to get me a different hoodie. So I had Bomb on the way back, and he seen, and I put up TNS. Now, remind you, Doom from Bushwick put me down with TNS. So he seen it, you know what I'm saying? And he said, yeah, my homeboy, he told me about STEM or whatever. So he connected us. You know what I'm saying? STEM came around the way. How we did it was, if I'm not mistaken, either STEM gave him I gave him my number to give to STEM, or STEM gave him his number to give to me. And then me and STEM we met up. You know what I'm saying? And
how was that meeting like? How was that meeting like? Two dudes doing the same thing around close to the same hood. How was that first meeting?
Oh, it was all love, man, because I was trying to capture the shit that I seen in the early 80s. You know what I'm saying? I tell you like this, man. The 5%ers rant Brooklyn. Fuck what you heard. They rant that shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, was graph writers, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, you go up St. John's. Not St. John, but if you walk Franklin Avenue, you was going to see a Webb, a Shazza, or Take 5, a Straight Letter or a Burner. That was their hood. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I listen to a lot of people talk about Uptown and this and that. And they try to, a lot of people don't like to speak on Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like to speak on Brooklyn. And, Brooklyn had that reputation of running up in your shit. Even in the layups, you had to be careful in certain layups in Brooklyn, especially in Kingston. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a 99 point. That's our hood. You know what I'm saying? Utica Avenue. That was all us. Franklin Avenue. You know what I'm saying? So you had to be on your square in certain neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? You just couldn't come in like that. You know what I'm saying? The vibe in Brooklyn from uptown is totally different. You know what I'm saying? And you hear, I used to hear some of my brothers, talking about how they used to go uptown and catch Vicks. You know what I'm saying? And come back to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? That's what Brooklyn cats was doing. Going uptown, you know what I'm saying? See, what they say now in food now, Brooklyn cats uptown, and no disrespect to uptown, but what they say now, food, they say a lot of that food, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of cats from Brooklyn used to go uptown to rob cats to come back to Brooklyn. Because it was like a whole totally different state damn near. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
yeah, man.
Speaking about, the Brooklyn scene versus the Bronx and uptown, Style Wars, for a lot of people who's from Brooklyn, some people take offense to Style Wars. And the reason why they take offense to Style Wars is that Style Wars focus more on the Bronx and Harlem than it did the other boroughs. How you feel about that? Especially like Brooklyn being left out and a lot of powerful style masters coming from Brooklyn.
Yeah. I really didn't, feel no way too much. I know what you're talking about. I did see it in Star Wars, but guess who represented Brooklyn though? Dondi. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? We were still in the house no matter what, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. And then, it was all about, I guess, Henry at the time was focusing on certain writers that happened to live uptown. So, and when you look at some of his, his documentary, the main one he was focusing on was Case 2 and Seeing UA. Those are the two main ones.
That was the main characters of Star Wars, true indeed.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but Dondi was he was a very heavy hitter, man. You know what I'm saying? And, he represented it. You know what I mean? To me, he had one of the best top to bottoms in the whole goddamn Star Wars movie, to me. You know what I'm saying? So, Brooklyn was still in there. You know what I'm saying? We're still in there.
Let me get your opinion on this. Name 5 writers that should be mentioned that don't really get mentioned when it comes to Graph. Your opinion.
All right. I'm gonna have to focus on Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I never met Domain, but I'm gonna give him this one. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen a lot of his work. I seen the Ghetto Minds. I seen a lot of shit that he did, and I admired a lot of his work. So I'm gonna give him one. I'm gonna go with Kilo TBS. You know what I'm saying? That put in a lot of work, and damn. Webb is another underrated Brooklyn style master.
Facts.
Damn.
You know what's weird that you say Webb? Still thinking you're 2 other artists, but what's weird about Webb, one, is that me doing the Vandal album for 9 years, a very seldom mentioned name is Webb one. Yeah. And I remember when Webb he's older than I am, but I seen a lot of his damage. I used to ride the A train going to East New York, stuff like that, and them tunnels with the WBs and them Webb ones, pretty hand style. He had that Kano flow onto his side. And so, I'm glad that you mentioned him, because he's a person that I think that if you mentioning Graph and you mentioning Brooklyn, how can he not be one of them people that's named a lot?
And
two more. Give me 2 more, girl. I know you got 2 more in the stash.
I said Gnome, right?
Yes, you spoke about Gnome earlier. So Gnome is a person that I definitely should be getting mentioned.
Yeah, he should be getting mentioned. Who else? Damn.
Here's one for you, and you didn't say this now, but you said this when we was offline. You spoke about James Top.
Oh yeah,
Who we actually had on the Vandal Hour show. But
I'm gonna tell you.
Talk to our audience about what you were saying about James Top.
James Top is one of the ones who, like, I see a lot of shit through this. Okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this. You remember back in the 80s when they had in August, the whole month of August, you had block parties every weekend?
Sure indeed.
You remember that? All right.
They still do that. They still do that.
Oh, they still do it. Okay.
They still do it.
Best Side to me has some of the best block parties. Yeah, I ain't gonna front. Out of Best Side was the spot for some strange reason. And they will always buy a fucking park, right? And you had a James Top, Red and Gold, or Mr. R. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you another. James Top had damn near every handball court in the style. There ain't no bullshit. Decatur Street, Hall, all the handball courts.
Yo,
and I'm gonna tell you,
when I was young, not to cut your wisdom, when I was young, I thought it said James Stop.
James Stop. Yeah, I thought that too. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know, he hit all the handball courts, dog, all of them.
He killed them.
You know what I'm saying? He killed them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Bed-Stuy had some heavy hitters, man. People be fronting on Bed-Stuy. Bed-Stuy.
And he had a clean hand too. James Top, it used to be, you could see it and know what it says cleanly. Clean hand. Clean hand.
You know what I'm saying? And I liked them shits, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, James Top is another one. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was I think another Bed-Stuy legend that don't get his props is, you know what I'm saying, Kev TM7 is another one. You know what I'm saying? And I remember him and Roller. Him and Roller used to kill them handball courts in the style too. You know what I'm saying? They hit a lot of them shits. Burners. Roller used to rock the burners and shit. You know them I don't really call it mechanic style, I say. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Describe to me the mechanic style, because
well, they call it wild style. You know what I'm saying? But it's, you know what I'm saying? Again, you gotta, you know, Riff is first generation style master. Riff 170. So he said that the mechanic style, phase 2 and them, you know what I'm saying? So if they say that's what it is, that's what it is. Because they coined it. You know what I'm saying?
True indeed.
So I'm gonna respect what they was talking about, what they was saying, what it was, style writing. You know what I'm saying? And they called it the mechanic style. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what I'm going with. You know what I'm saying? You know, we gotta, you know, it's like, we gotta, you know, we come up with shit and then we let other people deviate us from our shit. And when you do that, that's a sign of you giving it to them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mechanics, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You was also speaking about writing with Doms. Shout out to Doms, KOC.
Doms.
You have a Dom story that I think that people should hear.
All right. Yeah, shout out to Doms, KOC to my homie, man.
Shout out to Doms.
The shit was funny though, but I was pissed. But it was still funny though, because he was excited. So me and Zeus, we went to get Doms, right? So I told Doms, I said, yo, man, you know, I think you about ready to hit the walls. You know, he was already bombing and doing throw-ups and shit like that, but he ain't do no pieces. So I told him, I said, yo, I got a spot for you. I just did a burner. I said, you know what I'm saying? You can get up next to me and I you know, take a picture of it. Like that, right? So he had some baby blues and, you know, baby blue. I think he had a hot pink and shit and an outline. I think I gave him the outline. Anyway, I said, yo, Doms, man, I'm going to get that 12 o'clock special at the bodega. You know about the 12 o'clock special. You know what I'm saying? The turkey Swiss cheese hero, the bag of potato chips, and the Phantom soda for $2.50. Shit. I told him I'll be right back, right? So as I'm leaving, Dom take the house paint, took the roller, dipped it in the damn house paint, rolled clean right, oh man, on my burner. Yo, I had this I didn't get a picture of it, but I had that motherfucker look like a box of Lucky Charms. I had so many colors in it. And he went over the shit. I'm like, yo, what the dog? You know, I'm all excited. Zeus, yo, he laughed so hard he fell. You know what I'm saying? But I'm tight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, God damn, Dom. I mean, man, we had a mile of wall, and you go over my shit. And oh man, you know, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, B. I'm sorry. I was like, man, fuck it, just finish rolling this shit. I was bad in the motherfucker. And I ain't never get a picture of that piece, man. That one I had liked it because I had a lot of colors in it. I had like six colors inside in the field. And I never got a picture of it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, fuck it, oh well, you know what I mean? He ain't mean it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't done intentionally. He was just excited, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn though, man. I was like, yeah, that one was, you know, that one kind of, you know, it fucked me for a little bit, man, because I ain't documented it. You know what I mean? I was just starting to document, you know, take pictures, because a lot of shit, you know, coming up, you think that shit gonna be there forever. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm a victim of that. I'm a victim of that, for sure.
Yeah. So, you know, I lost a lot of them, and you know, and I was going to, what I was trying to do with him was get him next to me. You know what I'm saying? I was going to help him, you know, do his shit, and, you know, but hey, we still helped him in the whole knowledge that my shit was gone. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you know what I'm saying? I was like I said, I was mad. You know what I mean? A couple of hours and shit. Then you know what I'm saying? I got over that shit, man. You know what I mean?
How did you connect with Doms?
It's Doms, you know, okay, his father lived in, you know, Crown Heights, going into Flatbush. And his mother lived uptown by the Polo Grounds. So he used to go from Brooklyn to uptown. So to me, at the time, Doms had the best of both worlds. He was traveling back and forth to Brooklyn and Manhattan. And I went up there a couple of times. Me and him was supposed to hit the what was it, the FDR Drive? We were supposed to hit that, but I never went back up there and you know, and did it with him. You know what I'm saying? He did it, but I never went back up there to do it. But yeah, and Doms, I met Doms through Zeus. Because Zeus lived around the corner from him. Zeus lived on Lefferts. Dom lived on Bedford. You know what I'm saying? And then you had another heavy hitter in his building named Elf, DNA. You know what I'm saying? Elf was nasty with the characters.
I remember
you know
Elf.
What I'm saying? Yeah, he was real nasty with them characters. And, you know, Doms was nice in them black books. Doms was nasty in them black books.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, I told him, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Let's do this. And, you know, shit, you know, like I said, you know, my shit went over, but, you know, it's all good. But yeah. And, you know, we started, you know, doing shit. I took him to the plaza, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And, you know, and, I was teaching a lot of cats, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it was all love, man. But, you know, as I noticed, you know what I'm saying, the personalities of different cats, it was like, you know, there was a lot of little funny shit going on, man. A lot of little funny shit going on.
Let me ask you, who was some of the other artists that you done mentored or kind of, you know, had around you when you was doing what you was doing?
Doms came around me a lot when I was doing them, you know, or after the fact. When I started going to the plaza, Bez, you know what I'm saying, Coma, you know what I'm saying, and I started, you know, showing them how to put letters together, you know what I'm saying, and you know, just started, you know, once they got it, you know what I'm saying, you know, my main thing was the straight letters. Learn them straight letters, learn how to control them, have them do what you want to do, but you got to learn them first. You just can't, a lot of people just go into style, you know, you can't do it like, you got to start the steps you got to start with to order for them letters to pop. That's why my letters pop, because of the straight letter. I mastered the straight letter. And then I learned how to move them around. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of cats that, you know, came through through what I was doing a lot. I inspired a lot of cats to peace.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, I grew up around that time frame. Burners.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Let's speak about illegal burners. Because I know people are hearing you speak about burners and they probably assuming, oh, this guy was just doing murals or some shit like that. Give the ratio of the illegal pieces versus if you had 100%, give me the percentage of illegal pieces versus the legal pieces you've done during those times.
100% illegal.
And the reason why I asked you that is because I remember riding the bus, going towards Flatbush back in the days. I forgot what reason why. I was probably going to the roller skating ring Empire or something.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And you had mad burners and spots I know was illegal for sure, and not easy to get to. You doing shit like Main Avenue, piecing on the avenue. How was you pulling this off?
Me and True, right? All right. May he rest in peace. True used to go to the roller skating ring, right there on Empire and Bedford, right? So one day he was like, yo, man, you know, because he had that graspy voice. He was like, yo, I want to do something, but I want to go skating, right? So we was right there. We had cans and everything. He had his skates in his bag. So I said, yo, True, fuck it. You know, I want to hit that wall right there. You know what I'm saying? So right there on the corner of Empire and Bedford, there was an old mobile gas station there.
Facts.
But it was abandoned, right? And we hit, it was like 3 pillars, you know, spots, and we hit them, right? So like I told you, I used to be clean, right? And because we went into the roller skating ring. You had to be clean, you know what I'm saying.
Facts.
So I said, all right, okay, I'm gonna go on the roller skating with you. You know what I'm saying? So we did the wall. It was in the summertime. I'll never forget this day. It was about 7 o'clock, right? So you remember back then TNT.
Facts.
When they were driving them Plymouths, right? So me and True on the side of the wall, I did a 3-color blend. I'll never forget it. I did like a jungle green. I did like a beige, and I think I did a blue on the bottom. No, it was pink on the bottom with a black outline, right? So as I'm doing the outline, True over there, he doing his shit, and we both happened to look to our left at the same time. There they was creeping, but they ain't look. We was like froze on the wall. And they just kept going. And then we just kept finishing, you know what I'm saying? Got the shit, took the pic, went to roller skating ring and the whole 9 that night. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing them shits anywhere, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to Kite's crib when he used to live over there on Caton and Flatbush. You know what I'm saying? You know how that shit and you call the motherfuckers go on the side of the building, you call them out. Oh, I'm coming downstairs. All right, give me 15 minutes. I'm on the side of his building. And the alleyway doing the straight letter silver. He come down the stairs, oh shit, you know, I'm gonna do one right next to it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was shit like that, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It was fun, man. It was fun. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was all good, man.
Yo, talk to me about TBR. For the person who don't know what TBR is, give me the history on TBR.
I got my homeboy Eric, may he rest in peace. That was his crew. They were break dancers. The definition of it at the time was true B rockers. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they used to put it up, you know what I'm saying? And when the break dancing had faded out around 86, you know what I'm saying? 87, he gave it to me. So I ran with it, you know what I'm saying? The Brooklyn Rebels. And, you know, I was like, I thought about it. And then the burners, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the burner race. You know what I'm saying? That's what it stands for, the burner race. And, you know, that was my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
And,
who was some of the people pushing it outside of yourself?
Oh, you know, Hops and Stem, you know, the local cats around my way, Zeus, Spider, you know, Kais and you know, of course, the cats from the Plaza, Bears, and all them cats like that, you know, they was pushing it. Murd, Paz, you know, Como, you know, Snatch, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it ain't a, it ain't a real, it ain't like wine in, but you know what I'm saying? It hold it, you know what I'm saying?
And it holds weight,
Yeah. Yeah.
Another crew that you push a lot and Stem pushes a lot is Seven Hoods.
Oh, Seven Hoods. That's Kite's crew. Kite's crew. That's his shit. Seven Hoods is his shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he put me down with that back in I think '87. He put me down with that, and then not too long after that, TK put me down with TNR. You know what I mean? TK don't really need no introduction. You know his name. You know what I mean? You know,
we done interviewed him on the Vandal Hour. We interviewed him, but I'm setting up a new interview with him, Kais, and someone else. Stem is putting that together for me. I'm gonna do another situation like this with the guard. One of my I'm gonna say one of the writers of my time that I hold in high esteem. You know, he definitely set the bar on how you move as a writer. You know, a lot of history behind him. You know, I just found some behind the scenes history. I don't want to say on here, but a lot of he was definitely, his hands was in a lot of pots graph wise. He definitely put his stamp on the culture. You also said that you was connected with TNS, and my man Doom put you down with TNS. Outside of these three crews, what other crews were you pushing back in the days and even now?
I was pushing AFA, NOD, DNA. You know what I'm saying? You know, Webb put me down with Chaos. You know, that was, you know, pretty much it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Chaos holds a lot of weight.
Yeah.
People who know Chaos, you know what I'm talking about, man. Yo, you have a view on Graph that a lot of people share. But I wanna ask you, what don't you like about the culture now? Like, because you have there's certain things that you're not feeling. What do you not like about the culture?
The Graph culture?
Graph.
I don't like I don't like Thowies, you know, now. I don't, you know.
What's your beef with throwies?
It's you know, cats nowadays look at throwies like burners, and they're not burners. They just throwies. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how you cut them or how many colors you put in them. They just fucking throwies. They have their place. You know what I'm saying? You know, you when you want to get down with a crew, for example, like a crew like, I'm gonna throw one out there. Let's say TC5. You think you're gonna get down with TC5 doing a fucking throwy?
Hell no. Hell no.
You want to come with some flavor. You want to come with some style. And that's what a lot of people, a lot of these cats that's writing now don't understand. It's you know, the how can I say this? Cope said it to me the best. you throw them little testers out there. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to put it. You know what I'm saying? But then you want that, that masterpiece, that burner. That burner sits on top of the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, everything trickled down. They said, from what was told to me, Throwies over tags. Burners over Throwies. That's and I stuck with that. You know what I'm saying? I stuck with it. When you sit down and you watch Wild Style, was it Dez scheming them about, Cap? Oh, he's a fucking toy because he couldn't do a straight letter. So that stuck with me. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I knew it was more to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, where I was from, you barely seen them shits. You seen them, but you didn't see them more than you seen the burners. You go to Brownsville, right? You had Haz and all them niggas killing shit. Of course, CWK, Betsy Hay, that shit was, you know what I mean? That shit, man, them pieces, man, shit. Yo, I sit there at the wall for hours, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, studying it, you know what I'm saying? And, it wasn't about the Throwies when I was coming up. It was about them, but, when it came down to it, motherfuckers doing them burners. You know what I'm saying? Just like with me, I don't got nothing against the Throwies, but if you got time enough to do a fill in a Throwie, you can do a straight letter. I seen Jaws do it uptown. May he rest in peace. That motherfucker went from it was on Bruckner Boulevard in the Bronx. I think it was 100 and, I forgot the name of the number of the street, but anyway, Knox, no bullshit, no exaggeration. This motherfucker had Jaws straight letters, drop shadows, filled in solid for 10 straight blocks. And you know how long them blocks are. You know what I'm saying? He had a Jaws straight letter on every fucking block. You know what I'm saying? And that shit, oh shit. And I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. That's how the fuck you do it. You know what I'm saying? And I like I said, I ain't got nothing against the Throwies, man. But my main thing was the style, man. That's just the bottom line, man. Style. You know what I mean? That's just it for me, man.
What you call it? A lot of I know a lot of writers, especially the ones that has that same sentiment,
Yeah.
If you could do a war with someone, a style master, past or present, who would that person be?
Damn.
And why? Past or present?
Who I would really want to, but he's no longer with us no more, may he rest in peace, would have been Phase 2.
The originator, one of the originators.
Yeah. Phase 2, you know what I'm saying? We I was blessed to be around Riff 170. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So we, it's like, we got to understand our history. A lot of us don't understand our history. You know what I'm saying? We take that shit for granted. You know what I'm saying? And, in the graph world, especially that first generation, the black writers, they carried the torch. You know what I'm saying? And, we got to pay that homage. A lot of people don't like to pay homage to that. Like I said, Riff was the first generation of style writing. That's what they call it, style writing. You know what I'm saying? And he's still here. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to give it up to them. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And, that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I had read the book. There was a book back in the day that came out before Spray Can Art.
I want to speak to you about that. What is the name of that book?
That book was called The History of Hip Hop, Breaking, and Graffiti.
And who was by?
And I think it was damn man.
Say the name of the book one more time, so just in case, because we gotta look that book up.
The history of hip hop, breaking, DJ and graffiti. You know what I'm saying? And phase 2, you know what I'm saying? He laid down the law in that book. As far as the graph culture, the DJing, you know what I'm saying? They was talking about, he was talking about how he did the first, the flyers. It was a real good read, man. It was a real good read. And, Riff was up in the book. He mentioned Riff. He mentioned Ali. You know what I'm saying? Stay High 149. He mentioned a lot of writers, Future 2000. It was a good read, man. That book was good. And it was certain, captures in the book that I had read. And when I had met Riff, the first thing that came to my mind was that book. He verified everything that was in the book. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Me not knowing this first generation style writing. You know what I'm saying? They the ones who came out with the bubble letters and, shit like that.
The clouds around the tag.
You know what I'm saying? I think, if I'm not mistaken,
the halo.
IN was one of the first one to do the throwies, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? So, our history and that style writing runs real deep. And we need to, honor it. We need to honor it.
Yo, Stay High book is a classic. If you ever get your hands on it, Stay High book is official. He was a king.
Yeah.
And no one can deny that. He was doing tags, tall panel tags on trains with the Style Master shit.
Yeah, them single hits. They had called them single hits back in the day.
Yeah, he was killing. And he's splitting markers with the 2 colors. He got messages. Like a lot of writers wasn't putting messages with their shit. He was putting messages, which is very popular now in graph.
Yeah, and then those stick characters,
which is a motherfucking hallmark of graph.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we got to tell those stories. We got to tell them. We got to. I met Stay High at 5 Points. You know what I'm saying? I met him over there, you know what I mean? And we kicked it up, you know what I'm saying? And he was telling me that a lot of shit is bullshit. Straight up. And, I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? He was there. He told me he started, I think, in 69. That's when he told me, he started in 69. And, you see a lot of, they say, what's his name?
Taki 183.
Yeah, but I mean, it was him. You know what I'm saying? If you let other people tell the story, you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna automatically gravitate to their people. You know what I'm saying? Whether they fabricate it or however they do it, they're always gonna gravitate, to their people. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way shit is. And you know what I'm saying? We need to gravitate to our people. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, that's being decisive. That's being that's not racist, man. Ain't nothing racist about tribalism. Nothing racist about that.
Let me go this way with it, because you said just to elaborate on you said about someone was writing in 1969, and that, to me, that's a very important number that you just said, because a lot of people say that hip hop started in 1974, and there are writers from 1968, 69. That's first generation. So graph predates the culture of hip hop. Predates.
It does.
Now that's another interesting point too, because graph and rapping are not synonymous. They are not synonymous. And so you have writers from 68, 69 that wasn't listening to rap. They listening to disco. They listening to other shit besides rapping. So I just want to say that because a lot of people made up this magic number of 1974 and all these elements came then when you had graffiti writers who was designing the back of the gang jackets. Like, you know, like the clothing. There was people was getting stuff done on clothing before hip hop.
Yeah, of course.
So a lot of writers was doing that. Also, a lot of writers was designing album covers. A lot of people don't know that one. Writers was designing album covers. Album covers. So us saying that 1974 is our beginning, that's false. And I'm glad you said 1969.
I think like I said, the 69, that's when Stay High told me he started. Now, when you get into the style writing aspect of it, that's something different.
Sure indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's when you need, you know, Riff 170, you know, to come on and break that, elaborate and break that down.
You know who's a good friend of mine? A good friend of mine is Charmin 65.
Yeah.
And she's one of the first generation people.
Yeah.
I'm very cool with her. I actually talked to her over the phone outside of Graph. And she's one of the first generation. There's a picture. I think Snake is first generation also. There's a picture with the dude from Martinez Gallery with like a lot of the first generation people. I got
something for you though. I got something for you that Stem sent me last year. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna text it to you. Listen to the last 2 minutes of it, and it breaks down everything. The last 2 minutes, it breaks down everything. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
Yo, before we get out of here, man, and I don't want this to be a question or energy that I have in all my interviews, but there was a statement that I said last episode about a person who's going for the crown and being a king, and that you must go through war to become a king. Did you ever go through any graph beef?
I went through one little graph beef, one. And like like we was talking before, he did some sucker shit, you know what I'm saying? Some jealous shit. You know what I'm saying? He seen that I was killing shit on the burning tip. And he was catching me out there. I ain't gonna say his name, but he was ragging me on some straight up sucker shit. You know what I mean? And I tried to put the motherfucker on to the style.
Oh, so somebody you was fucking with. Oh, that's crazy.
Yep.
Usually that's how it happened though. That's usually how
you know
it
what I'm saying? But other than that, man, nah. Other than that, never. No beef. Killing shit. Never got caught. Got in some raids, but never got caught. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, all of my shit until I moved down here, illegal. It wasn't, you know, like I said, we just had that Liquitex and that Fat Cap. That was it. That's all we had. You know what I mean? But everything was done illegal.
Yo, how's life now? You out in the city? You still painting? How's the energy in Florida and painting down there?
Oh, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know me, TK and Kites, we get together here and there and do shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, lately I've been doing that solo tip. I just did one. I got to clean it up and I'm going to post it. You know what I'm saying? I got quite a few that I've done down here that I didn't post yet. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, dog. I'm not good with this technology. I'm going to be straight honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I come from the time where, I'm going to call you at such and such time. you know, well, I'm gonna be at this telephone at such and such. That's how we used to communicate back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like when me and Stem will go out, we'll plan a day before at night, or I'll meet you on motherfucking Flatbush and No Street. That's how we used to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll meet you on Empire and Nostrand Avenue or something like that. That's how we would rendezvous. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have the cell phones. Facts. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's how we would do it. You know what I mean?
Yo, how do you feel like in not in retrospect, take that back. How do you feel now when you look at your comrades like Hops, Stem, who doing what they do now? How do you look at their work now and what they're doing?
I like it. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like their work. I always liked it, Hops and Stem. Always. Because, you know, there's a crew uptown, right? That everybody worship, which is fine, they dope. But it's like 4 or 5 of them, right? And each of them specialize in something that the other one don't. Well, then you come to Brooklyn, East Flatbush or Bushwick, you got these 2 brothers that can do it all. All. And, you know, like I said, you know,
respectfully.
Yeah, they can do it all by themselves. You know what I'm saying? I done seen Hops work, a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? We piece together, you know what I'm saying? Me and Stem, of course. They you know, their portfolio is deep, man. You know what I'm saying? They you know, they can do it all by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Me and F Boom, we was just the extra shit. You know what I'm saying? Me and F was the extra. And like I said, they had some, all right, I'm gonna tell you a story. You remember when F Boom and Hops had the videograph, right? You remember that?
Facts.
So he called us up, right? So it was me, True, Stem, and I believe it was Coma with us at the time, right? So I hijacked my father's van. We jumped in the van and rode, you know, to F Boom house. We get to F Boom house. Hops was there, right? You know, F Boom, his brother, his mom's. Oh man, his mom's, man. We had, yo, his mom's, man. His mom's cooked a hell of a meal for us, man. Rice, beans, you know. At the time, you know how motherfuckers with that 5% eating pork, but she had chicken, you know, everything. Anyway, we sitting in the, you know, the crib, so F, you know, put on the videograph, and we sitting in this room, and we watching the videograph, you know, because you know, him and Hops did it, you know what I'm saying?
They made it in.
Yeah. And what I noticed about them particular 3, Stem, Hops, F Boom, was their black books.
Classic. Whoever get their hands on any of those books from back in the days, you're getting a movie in graph.
I don't know who did the
Mount Rushmore joint with all their faces on it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, like
with the the flower character.
Yeah. And you know, they would do the whole 2 pages. And I'm like, God damn, man, you run out of ink when the markers doing these shits. You know what I'm saying? I would do it like a burner on the page and throw a frame around my piece and say, fuck it. They was doing the whole books, both pages.
Facts.
So I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So they was really into them, you know, them books. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, me and F Boom, we hit it off. You know, we was, you know, in that yard down the street off of Troutman doing a piece, and the D's rolled up on our asses. It was me, him, and Deck. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Deck.
You know, we was doing them burns, and them motherfuckers rolled up on us. Whoop, whoop. And I threw my hands in the air. F got up on the wall. You know, he, you know, was looking, and I told him, I said, yo, we doing a rest in peace, you know, for a homie. And they just looked at it, you know, looked at me, and, you know, I said, all right. And F Boom started rolling the shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Hell yeah. But yeah, we had fun, man. You know what I'm saying? It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun, man. And at the time, you know, we had I had brung TK over because it was like a some type of beef with him and Deck because you know you remember back in the days, the trains used to get bust up. You know, the shuttle, you know, the D's, and you know, somehow they got into some beef. So being that F Boom, that was his homie, TK was mine, and we got that beef squash. And TK came through, dropped a nice motherfucking straight letter, and you know, it was all love, man. That's how it was, man. You know what I mean? Back then, you know what I mean? If you my homie and you got beef with somebody, and I know the person that you got beef with, we're gonna handle it. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gotta be no violence neither.
That's dope that you did that. That's dope that you did that. Especially in those days.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was the code back then. You know, that was one of the codes. You know, if you know somebody and they got beef, you know what I'm saying? And if you can get that shit settled, then you get that shit settled. And if you can't, you let them shoot the fair. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't none of that jumping and all that old, you know, shit until later on. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, I remember that time in automotive when the Decepticons, they locked the school down. You know what I'm saying? They locked that shit down because, you know, the Decepticons back in the day, that was the spinoff of them. You remember how they used to wild out on Halloween and shit like that? You know, them big posses and shit.
That was Halloween all day, every day. That was Halloween. Decepticons equal Halloween every day.
I'm on one time. I'm gonna say this story, man. I don't like mentioning his name, but I'm gonna mention his name, man. We was downtown Fort Greene, right? And it was Halloween, right? So we hear all this banging on Fulton Street. We on J Street side, right? So I think we walked to Livingston. Livingston, yeah. And it was about 4 o'clock, and we heard all this noise. So we had the train station right there, right? So we looking, and I hear all this noise. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So Coma looked, and yo, it got dark. It was so many cats, man, and they seen us, so they started throwing bottles at us. So Coma shot down in the train station, right? So I'm looking to see if they're going to come my way. Because if the train ain't there, ain't no sense of going downstairs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking, right? So I said, fuck it. You know, we can run to Atlantic Avenue or whatever. They come on a block. They started throwing bottles at us, right? So Coleman had already went down the stairs. So as I'm going down that motherfucker, he coming up. And I'm looking at him going up while I'm going down. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I get down to that motherfucker and hit that turn and fell on my ass. It was locked. So I came up out that motherfucker. We hit motherfucking Livingston Avenue and hauled ass. I mean, it was, I was like, damn.
Wow.
That was a close one. That was a close one. I was like, oh, shit.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Halloween night. And then top it off that night, I think we went to Tilden and did some silvers. We went to Tilden and did some silvers that night. We went to Tilden and did some silvers and shit. Yeah, it was all love, man. It was fun, man. Back then, man, it was real fun, man.
And that's what Graph was, man. That's what Graph was.
Yeah.
You know, I had asked you, what do you not like about Graph now? And I had asked you that same question offline. What do you not like about it back then? And you was like, nothing. Everything was how it was supposed to be.
Shit, man. Yeah, man. Back then, it like I said, man. You know what I'm saying? The burners ruled the game, man. Back then, that's just the bottom line. You know, you had your all city jars, easy jars 5. TK. You know what I'm saying? You know, at the time, him and Magoo teamed up, you know what I'm saying? And they was killing shit. Magoo was another underrated Brooklyn cat.
That's another person that you were speaking about offline also. Yeah,
Magoo was definitely another underrated cat. But yeah, man, you know, it was style everywhere, man. Everywhere you went. All the handball, like I said, majority of the handball, of course, had burners on them. You know what I'm saying? So it was all, you know, like I said, my where I used to hang out at, either I was in Flatbush, I hung out in Flatbush a lot. I ain't on front. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna tell you another underrated writer that's still kicking.
Tell me.
Hitting shit is motherfucking Dink. Forgot his ass. I forgot Dink. You know what I'm saying? I forgot about
so
Dink.
let me say this. In the perfect world of the Vandal Hour, and everybody who's watching, listen to what I'm saying. In the perfect world of the Vandal Hour, Dink will be interviewed. So we're putting we're putting that energy out. We're gonna put that energy out.
Longevity.
We're gonna put that energy out. We would like to have Dink PBS on the Vandal Hour.
And I'm gonna tell you something. When I was doing my thing, he was doing his thing. You know, back then. You know what I'm saying? And you know, how can I say it at the time? Even present, I'm quite sure, but back then, he had that juice in certain neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? East Flatbush, he knew motherfuckers in East Flatbush, Flatbush, DeVille, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, his name is all over Brooklyn.
It rings bells.
Yeah, it rings bells, you know what I'm saying? Without a doubt, you know what I'm saying? His shit ring bells.
When I didn't know who Dink was, like in the aspect of like, I just saw the tag. Now, you know, I know history of him, but when I was younger, coming up in the game, I believe I went to court. My first time starting to go into court was about 15 years old. And when I was going to court, across the street from Skimmerhorn, there's a parking lot. The parking lot has a wall, and it has like where you go with the park, and inside the parking lot you could park cars stacked on each other.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He used to have Dink floaters on the top of the shit. I'm like, how the fuck he get up there?
Yeah.
Like it was like, how the fuck he get up there? To me, it was like he was flying or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I said this guy know how to fly.
Yeah, he was killing shit, man. I gotta give it to him, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give it to him. He was doing his thing, man. Me and him came up around the same time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we was affiliated with the same people. We knew each other, you know what I'm saying? And he was, you know, matter of fact, a couple of homies I know that had beef with him. And I seen him one time on Flatbush, Cotillia Road, somewhere down there. And, you know, we talked, and, you know, he said, yo, boss, you know, I'll squash it. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers go over my shit. It's on the popping. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And he was the type that'll come to the hood and bomb your hood if he had beef with you. He coming through that motherfucker.
He's a silent killer, and
yeah.
Like his name reaches all boroughs. In the nicks and crannies of New York City. You know, he's definitely one of them people that undeniably a king. I appreciate you, man, for coming through the Vandal Hour, doing the Vandal Hour. Any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
I mean, you know, shout out to Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Whining, TNS, DKS, you know what I'm saying? You know, STEM, Hops, F Boom, you know, shout out to them. Snatch, you know what I mean? And, you know, other cats, you know what I'm saying? I might not mention, but, you know, shout out to them, you know what I'm saying?
If you could say anything to our audience, what would you leave our audience with?
Oh, next week I'm doing a burner. Point blank.
You heard the guard, man. You heard the guard, man. Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you for doing the show. Don't hang up your phone. I'm just gonna end the show.
Okay.
Yo, if you are a person who never watched the Vandal Hour, check out all of our episodes. They're available on S.STREET Media YouTube channel, or you could go to DTF Radio YouTube channel. Check out all of the old episodes of the Vandal Hour. We're also on Spotify. There's a couple of seasons there if you want to catch some Spotify joints. I might even have some on SoundCloud. But they're spread out on many different platforms. I am going to organize everything next year. I know it's a project. I know I lost content between these 9 years, but I'm going to try my best to compose everything together, because a lot of people have been asking me for old episodes. So I'm going to try to compile all the episodes from all 9 seasons somehow into one place where you can find everything at. Bear with me. We're going to aim for 2024 to do that. But check us out on all of our streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram. Thank you for supporting us in everything we've been doing. We appreciate it. Thank you. My name is Mathematics. That's Bears, pardon self. That's Bars, TBR. I almost fucked up. You know I smoke.
It's all good.
You know I smoke weed. That's Bars, TBR, YNN, and I am the Vandal Hour. Peace. Thank you.
Peace. No doubt.